More than 50 members of the Minnesota National Guard said goodbye to their loved ones Thursday as they prepared for deployment overseas. Reporter Emily Haugen was there and shares what makes this mission special.
After years of training, the day is here.
I know they will be successful in their unrelenting commitment to the mission until they return.
A room filled with loved ones in Brooklyn Park honoring the resolve of 50 soldiers.
This mission embodies the values of freedom, democracy, and the justice that we stand for as a nation.
This is a medical unit about to be deployed to the Middle East. It's made up of service members trained in everything from first aid to emergency surgery. Army Major Jacob Redding is in charge of the group.
It's a small contingent that's going, but we're able to support a large population.
For some, like Redding and First Sergeant Brent Emery, this isn't their first deployment. For most, it is their first.
I think there's always a little bit of nervousness, but we're a very well-trained unit and we're prepared for our mission. But there's always a little bit of the unknown of going forward, and that's where we rely on the training.
The best version of you is just you.
During the ceremony, leaders spoke to the soldiers.
These leaders have chosen to take that time and give it to others.
But also to the families staying behind. Everyone's leaving someone at home. Emery's family came to send him off.
Definitely leaving some folks behind that will be eager to have me back.
His family isn't the only one. Redding has advice for those staying behind. Stay strong.
Work through the sacrifice. It's hard work being back home alone.
The ceremony spilled outside as soldiers and their families said goodbye, spending one last precious moment together. In Brooklyn Park, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
The unit will be overseas for about a year. 3 teens and 1 adult were arrested Wednesday in Crystal after a string of thefts ended with a car crash. Law enforcement in St. Louis Park tipped off Crystal police about a group of people that were stealing from construction trailers. Detectives tracked them to the Target and GameStop at the Crystal Shopping Center, where they used stolen credit cards. Police boxed in their car in the parking lot, but they drove up onto a curb to try and escape. A Crystal officer rammed their car and disabled it. No one was hurt in the incident. A special program for littles is underway at Stages Theater Company in Hopkins. 10 years after its first iteration of theater for the very young, its young actors are putting on the Dandelion Seed. It follows the journey of a seed that is scared to let go. Lola Alwinley says it's a show about facing your fears and belonging.
If you move just one place to another, it's really scary for some people, but there's people can make you feel at home, things can make you feel at home, so you're not that afraid.
At Stages, theater for the very young is an interactive experience. It's for kids ages 5 and under. Each show is sensory friendly. Milan Alwinley says it's a different and special way of putting on a performance.
It's not just we're doing the play, they're helping us do the play.
Yeah, so they can teach us new things. We can teach them new things. They can play with us.
This show runs most days this month until Sunday, August 25th. Tickets are available online. We'll share a link at ccxmedia.org. A major restaurant chain known mainly for its breakfast and bakery items has undergone a rebrand. In this edition of Business Matters, we take a look at the evolution of Perkins.
I think we're well known for a place to come and gather with friends and family for breakfast.
Consumers are creatures of habit, but sometimes change is inevitable.
We're always looking to elevate and enhance our menu.
Mary Larson is the VP of Operations for Perkins. The restaurant chain known mainly for breakfast and baked goods made a major announcement in June.
We are going through a rebranding. Not as we used to be known as Perkins Restaurant and Bakery. We have now changed our name to Perkins American Food Company, which is very exciting for us.
Exciting because it signals an evolution for the restaurant, one that customers will start seeing gradually.
Eventually, we'll be changing out all our signage, and we'll be changing the interior and the exterior to look, have a modern twist on it. Not forgetting our heritage and where we came from, right?
In other words, the breakfast and bakery will remain, but they're hoping to lure in new faces with periodic menu changes. For example, its new lineup of decked-out double burgers.
We have 4 of them. We have the new avocado crunch burger here. We also have we've doubled up our cheeseburger, we've doubled up our Tangler burger, and doubled up our breakfast burger.
It's an item Perkins has never sold.
I'm a Perkins aficionado.
For more context on the rebrand, we spoke to University of Minnesota marketing professor George John.
So what is a brand? A brand is nothing but a shorthand way of telling people who we are, what we stand for.
John says that in many cases, a company changes its brand because the CEO wants a new image. But some of the challenges are getting the franchise owners to buy into the changes and trying to retain the old customers while attracting new ones.
A lot of companies switch their brands and come out with a new menu, what have you. They lose their old customers, but the new people, they're still not sure these guys are actually legit. So those are the 2 challenges they face.
If you talk to the folks at Perkins,
we have plates for hungry, hungrier, and hungriest. $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, all day, every day.
They'll tell you people shouldn't be afraid of the new Perkins.
We're not looking to scare people away. We're just looking to enhance all of our flavors.
The double burgers will remain on the Perkins menu through September 2nd. After that, they'll switch over to a lineup of melt sandwiches. An athlete from Maple Grove is set to make his Olympic debut this weekend. Alasan Ann, who's representing the nation of Gambia in the martial art of Taekwondo, will have his first match of these Olympic Games early Saturday morning. The Maple Grove native, who is also known as the Gambian Goliath, will compete against a fighter from Croatia. But if you want to watch, you'll have to wake up early. His match is at 5:13 a.m. local time. Peacock and NBCOlympics.com will have the broadcast.
The Hopkins boys basketball program has had its fair share of standout basketball players through the years. This past week, some notable alumni, along with current Royals players, were back at Hopkins High School teaching basketball to the next generation. Chaz Moots has that story.
Any young Hopkins hooper
I'm a shooting guard, like a combo guard or a shooting guard.
dreams of one day
I just love it. It's like I just loved it ever since my dad put the ball in my hands.
being the next Jaden Moore,
Pause.
the next A3,
Good pass. Oh.
or maybe even the next Zeke Naji.
Your same team has to be in the same line as each other.
A former Hopkins star forward and current Denver Nugget.
Yeah!
At the Hopkins Alumni Experience basketball camp,
A lot of like ball handling and finishing and like fun games.
kids learn from past and present Royals.
Hey, say ball.
It wasn't that long ago that Naji was the camper looking up to his hometown heroes.
As a little kid, that's something I really look forward to because, you got the varsity guys, varsity players, looking at you and you trying to make a cool little move to impress them, stuff like that.
From Hopkins to Tucson and now Denver, Naji has grown as a player
We're the best defenders.
and grown with gratitude for the game.
I think as a kid, you're in the programs, you're coming up, it's just like it's a fun experience for you. But when you're older and you're done with all that stuff and you're looking back on it, you don't realize how important it is in the moment.
Zeke's message to young kids hoping to be like him one day, simple but straightforward.
Work hard. And not just work hard for a couple of days or a week, but be consistent with it. I think a lot of people can work hard when people are watching, and a lot of people can work hard when they feel good or they feel like they want to work. But it's the days that you don't really feel like putting in that extra work. I mean, if you truly are working hard and you're truly putting in the time, regardless of who's watching, regardless of how you feel, the sky's the limit, honestly.
Safe to say that message hit home
It talks about like how to be successful in the game and like what it takes to get there.
in Zeke's short time back home.
Hard work and dedication and discipline.
In Minnetonka, Chaz Moats, CCX Sports.
Looking to catch a big northern? Terry Tuma has some great suggestions in this week's CCX fishing tip.
Right now to about the middle latter part of August is an excellent time to catch these big pike. We're talking big fish, ones that normally roam the basin in deep cold water. These fish will move up onto the flats, green and cabbage coontail, sparsely located with little sand mixed in between, and casting either single or tandem spinnerbait. Orange chartreuse, orange green are some of the colors, but do experiment with different colors. And then too, when you cast out, you're going to get hung up on those weeds. That's normal. And once you rip it away from that weed stem, then you're going to get that strike of that big pike. And then if you don't have any success, go to a live bait rig with a sucker or red-tailed chub. Throw real slow with your trolling motor right up against that weed edge. If that doesn't produce, then what you want to do is go to a heavy jig and plastics. Now again too, the location is going to be springs in any body of water, incoming streams that have cold water, river system, a big river system, and a small river system coming into that big river system. These are all areas that are going to produce these big pike for a short time. And I do need to mention that I know so many times people say, oh, I'm going to use braid, it'll prevent bite-offs. No, you need to use a leader, something 8 inch in length, 20-pound test, 12-inch length. Here again, experiment, but use black. But give it a try. You're going to get some big pike that you did not expect that live in that body of water that you're fishing.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.